What up, boys? We're back with Sweating in the Sports Cars with our 10th episode. This is the day I filmed. This is literally the last day that you can, I think, before the promotion season. So in this video we have to get 3.0. I ran 3 races total, and they were the last 3 races left in the season. So we want to take this race nice and easy. Want to try and get all the SR that we possibly can. We're running the Ford. Just trying to see if this car is actually good, because it felt good in the last video, but we have to see if it's strong again. Up against a lot of Porsches today, a lot of Porsches and a lot of McLarens, but this race was mainly dominated by the Porsche. So we're taking it on with American Muscle here in the Mustang. I think that was the only Mustang on the grid, at least as far as I could see in this race. Taking the S's nice and neat. The last thing we need is an off track because there's so little amount of tracks here as we make an overtake here. Taking it alongside the red Porsche. I don't know what happened there. It was kind of an unforced error. I think he just made a mistake on these cold tires. As we send it down the inside. Nice little move. Up into P16 now. You know, as I was saying earlier, there's more turns on this, less turns, on this track. So it's calculated that if there are more turns, then off tracks mean less because there are more turns. But we're just trying to catch up here. We're trying to race as safely as we possibly can. Just stick with this guy because the pack, we're sitting in P11, but the pack is a little bit further up as we're trying to chase down a BMW. Me and this guy were pacing about the same. I think he managed to pull away from me throughout the race, but not more than by a 1 or 2 tenths a lap. As we reach the halfway point in this race. Seems like the Porsche is struggling around these S's, which I'm not sure if it favors the front engine cars or if the Porsche itself just struggles around those S's. He's trying to stay as close as possible to his rear wing. Trying to fake him a little dummy of a move. Doesn't look like he fell for it. This is where I feel like I just personally struggle. It's on this last hairpin. On this last back straight. I just seem to cannot be able to take that right to set myself for a proper exit. So, chat, if you guys know anything, let me know in the comments below how I can improve myself. But this is the last day, so it's not like I'm going to have to drive it excuse me, anytime soon. But I'm very excited for this next update. I really want to try to get to grips with the new GTP tire and aero model. See which car is the fastest.
Okay, Yank, you're halfway home. Got plenty of fuel.
The Porsche in front seems to dive really deep on the inside there.
Sector 1 is 0.7.
I feel like I was taking the turn 2 a little bit shallower than I should be. Because he just sent it. And sent it around the outside. But we try to get a better exit here. Try and slam the throttle as early as possible. Just get on traction. But I feel like I was struggling on these 90-degree angle turns. Skip ahead a little bit. Finally caught up to the M4 in front. I'm not sure if he had damage or anything, but he was struggling massively in front of us. Took us a couple of laps to try and make our way to him. But on the final lap, he actually spins in front of us. We try not to hit him, slam on the brakes, but for some reason, I don't know why this happens, but if you make a tiny little bit of contact and they make contact with someone else, you get the 4 times. Like, I actually can't believe that I was given a 4 times there for that tiny little bit of contact that we did not even initiate. So, but we come home in P10, cracked into the top 10 with 4 instants, unfortunately, and we get minus -0.02 safety rating, which is not what we need at the end of the season. On to the next race in the GTPs, this time around Spa. This was a fun little race we had here. in the Ferrari again. The Ferrari seems to be it's just the most fun around here, I feel like.
Right side.
Incident in Blasov looks to bias.
As we nearly get... I'm not even sure what happened there. I think he lost it, and the guy behind me managed to... You can hear my verbal frustration there. But the Porsche in front of me... Again, another Porsche in front of me. But... Come right onto the rear wing of the Porsche in front. And he looks like he was trying to make a move on the Acura in front of him as well. The Acuras were not very strong in a straight line, so... I managed to make my move onto the Porsche. Seems to be a little bit of... Ooh, a little bit of an incident here. Going into... I forget what these turns are called. But I think he actually takes someone out behind us. As we come into a fat pack of these GTPs coming around the hairpin and into no-name corner. These two going too wide almost as he rides those curves. I thought they were going to spin there. They easily could have spun and taken somebody out. But they both go wide here, and we try and capitalize, take advantage there as we do make the move onto that black, I think, Acura. And we try to capitalize on the HP Ferrari and the Ferrari that is in front of us. Someone else also off the track. Going to clean all the dust for us.
Car is Virgo, car number 17, A license.
We try and get a good exit coming off of these two right-handers. I don't know what these corner names are either. As we try to get in the slipstream here, you can hear our battery is cranked up to 11 here. As we use the Ferrari power to try and see if we can make a send a move down the inside.
Clear left. Car left.
Looks like we managed to get the move done as we ride a little bit too much of that inside curb, but we just need a better exit here as we make it a drag race going to turn 1 of La Source.
Clear left.
I think he just backs off here because it's not much of a fight at the inside, so which is good for me too. It was lucky. I actually wasn't sure if he was alongside me still, but we catch up to the Cadillac in front of us. This would be cracking the top 10 here. Not quite close enough to make a move. But I don't know how people are finding so much time in these Acuras, because you can see first place is clearly an Acura, and he's running decently well. But the straight line efficiency of the Acuras is just absolutely nowhere on this track. And the traction control, maybe it is traction control, maybe not. But I just could not get my foot down on any of the traction zones. The high-speed corners felt really good in the Acura, but it didn't feel so drastically different that the Ferrari was incomparable. But again, right on the rear wing of Dean Pierre, trying to get P10 here.
Clear left.
Alongside him, we pull ahead in the Ferrari power. I think he lifts a little bit so that we don't have a tangle. I think most people here are trying to fight for some SR so they can get promoted. As we finalize the move, the guy in front of us looks like he's about to line up a move going into the hairpin.
Okay, Yang.
But the Acura doesn't quite pull it off.
Let's make sure we can take them.
Looks like they both missed the apex in front of us. But now we're on the hunt for P9 and 8. This is where the Acura kills.
The next car
In
is
in this section.
number 7.
There's a lot of medium
Where are
speed.
you gonna go, mate?
The medium speed feels really good in the Acura. But this is where they'll get killed as well. When power and muscle matters. We're what? 3 or 4 tenths behind right now? Easily with the slipstream just pulling and pulling on the guy in front. Close enough. I'm pretty sure I tried to make a move here. Yep. Try and outbrake him here, but think better of it. I do not want to lose any safety rating. That is what we're racing for here. We do not care about the I rating right now. But sometimes it is better that you overtake somebody rather than stay behind them. Because if you have a lot of pace and the person in front of you is not braking where you think they are, they brake too early, or they take a corner slower than you think and you enter the back of them, and that's an automatic 4 times. So sometimes it is safer to try and overtake slower people, but obviously in a safe manner that you don't want to get tangled up in as well. there's always a risk in doing that, that they don't know what you're doing, or they don't see you, or they're not paying attention, and they just run you off the road. But
Hold your line.
luckily this guy
Clear right.
is better than that. But we had to hang it around the outside because he does want to contest for the position.
Mate, that was fucking brilliant.
And as our
Okay,
engineer
Yang,
said, that is
next car
indeed
is
fucking
car
brilliant.
Car number.
Fast forwarding a little bit of glitches on my PC there. As we see the immediate battle for P6, and I think someone actually, blocks up, and we just have to take some avoiding action here.
Nielsen.
Right side, clear right.
Get a little bit of wheel spin on the exit. As we come back, skip ahead. After the overtake, nothing really happens, and we finish the race with 0 incidents, which is exactly what we need, and we come home in P8. Pretty good result coming from the last to P8 with 0 incidents. We'll take that any day, and we get plus 0.24. So not of approval there. Just need one more good race to get 3.0, and we can probably get promoted after this race. So this race we have we're in the Chevrolet actually this time. I decided to try out the Chevy because I saw a few people using them and it looked quite quick. But in practice it definitely fit my style. But if you enjoy this POV content, make sure to like down below, and that way I know that you enjoy the POV content. Thought I'd shake it up a little bit. But we start in last again. Again, we're still racing for SR. We need 0.08 in order to advance to 3.0, which is what we need, as this is the very last race of this season for this series. I think there's some more races. I think there's like one more race, depending on like when they start, obviously, after this race. But this was the final race for this series. In the Chevy chasing this Lamborghini around, we're in P14. The strength of field was decently high. It was about 2.2k, which is maybe top, maybe second split. There was a lot of people running this series, so I was actually surprised. I think there's like 120, 130 people signed up for this series, and there's some pretty fast people, but we didn't care about being quick. We just cared about the
guy in front is Xavier.
incident counter.
15.
We just want safety rating. That's all we want at the end of the season, so we can do some IMSA going to 25S2. But I did feel I had the pace on this Lambo in front. I just did not want the headache of trying to overtake him too early or unnecessarily if we are running the same time. But as I got more comfortable with the car and as the tires warmed up, I had got a little bit more confident to try and overtake, as 2 McLarens, I think one McLaren goes off on the left and one goes through the grass on the right, which has to be a slowdown penalty. As the Lamborghini looks to line up a move on this McLaren in front of me.
13th place.
Gets the move done. Try to stay out of trouble here, but the McLaren does go wide. Don't want to sneak my nose in there too much. Let's try and see if we can line up a good exit here. As the Lamborghini is holding the racing line. The McLaren has a really bad entrance into that corner, so does the Lamborghini. I have to lift up the throttle, and I get a 0 times car contact there, which I had to take a sigh of relief there because I did not want a 4 times. As you saw, we only got 1 4 times in the last race, and it absolutely tanked our SR. But the Porsche does not care, as he absolutely sends it on this Porsche, which I just took advantage of because why not? Little free position there. Now we're just going to follow this Porsche around and see if he can take us to the promised land whilst getting 0 incidents. Because all we need is one good 0 times race to possibly be promoted to 3.0. But a little skip ahead. Starting to get a little bit more comfortable, a little bit quicker on this car as we come up on a pack of cars. I think this goes up to P7 or 8, I believe, because we're currently in P11. But this Alienware car, he had a little bit of an incident on the start. I think he may have rear-ended somebody, or somebody brake checked him or something like that. But the Porsche makes a nice little move into Sector 3. Manages to slip ahead of this McLaren, and we're trying to see if we can set up a move here. As the McLarens look like both McLarens there looked pretty decently slow. Going into the double left-hander, see if we can get a better exit. It looks like the McLaren overshoots his braking zone a little bit. See if we can get a better exit here. But it doesn't look like we're quite close enough to try and send it down the inside. But it looks like someone else, the Porsche, might have to defend there up ahead. But at this point, we're still trying to get used to the car. We're not even halfway through this race yet, and I'm making decent progress going into the top 10 here. I almost thought that was I thought that was off track when I was racing there, because I did cut a lot of that curb. But luckily, we're still at 0 times. Just gotta cross our fingers, as the McLaren has another bad entrance and a bad exit there. So we're gonna try and line up a move, maybe fake going down the inside here. Try and throw him off his pace. He holds the inside very aggressively, which means we're gonna have a better exit if we can set it up properly. As you can see on my wheel and on my screen, that I am losing about 5-6 tenths this lap from following this car. He holds inside very aggressively again while we try to get a better exit as our rear slides out from us just a little bit. Going into sector 3 as we nearly lose it, and I managed to keep it on track, but visible frustration there as I slam my hand on the wheel. But we managed to catch up with a few minutes left in this race. I think at this point there's probably 5 minutes left in this race. We managed to catch up back with the McLaren. We managed to catch back up with the McLaren, and the Porsche that had to defend the inside earlier is now in front of us. But first things first, if we want to overtake this McLaren, gotta do that first. Compromises his entrance into the corner by defending the inside, as he holds the inside again to try and cover us off on the dive bomb. We try to short shift here to get a better exit, as we manage to get in the slipstream here, but I still don't think we are close enough to try and make a move here. Maybe we can possibly make him uncomfortable by trying to brake a little bit deeper than he did, carry more speed into the apex, and he rides the dirt, which gives him a very bad exit under the tunnel. I think he messes up here by taking too much speed, because I get a much better exit than him here.
Hold your line.
And for some reason, he does try to force me to the inside a little bit. He taps my car erratically, which frustrated me because he easily could have given me a 4 times there, but we got the move done. Now we're chasing down this Porsche, trying to see what we can do here, but me and him were pacing pretty equally, like pretty much 1 for 1 for a lot of this race. And this was my first race, my very first race in the Chevy. But for our first race in the Chevy, it's not bad. We still have 0 incidents, and
2 minutes to go. 2 minutes.
Are cracked into the top 10, so, which is not bad at all. Trying to catch up. We're in the slipstream of this Porsche here. Trying to see if we can take it down the inside. Maybe not. He does turn in very early there, which makes me think he tried to defend the inside. We are on his rear bumper going in through this last sector here. Try and see if we can close up the gap. As we do, we try to get as close as possible on exit, as we get the white flag shown on the wheel and on our screen. We try and send a move down the inside.
That lap time was 1:51.
Now we think better of it. He does cover that off, sends it down the inside as we try and get as close as possible on entry. But he gets a better exit. After turn 2, use a wiper blade just to wipe off some of that dirt. Let's see, can we get short shift into 3rd? He does get a really bad apex and exit there as he hits the dirt. Try and check check our mirror sees not alongside us, and he does give up that place easily, and we're up into P8 as we line up the final few corners and come around for the checkered flag. That should be enough to propel us up into 3.0, which means we get to A-Class. We're going to check at the end of this video, but guys, if you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. Would really appreciate the support. There it is, 3.47. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.